Hello everyone. When we started Press This a couple of years back, we did a look between WooCommerce and WP e-commerce, and a lot of people responded to it, and they wanted us to give them more of a tutorial of how to set up WooCommerce. Since we posted that video a couple of years ago, WooCommerce has really taken off, and it is sort of the free e-commerce plugin solution for WordPress. So what this video is going to do is it's going to show you how to set up WooCommerce, and we'll probably break it up into a couple of video segments to show you how to set up WooCommerce, set up some initial products, get them to display on the page, and then bring people's attention to them as well. So with part one, we're really looking to sort of set up WooCommerce from the initial phase. You've just downloaded it, so you've just gone to Plugins, Add New, and you've either found it from the free repository just by searching simply for WooCommerce, or you've gone to WooCommerce or woothemes.com/WooCommerce and downloaded it for free. So now we're going to go here to the sidebar, and you'll notice two sections, WooCommerce and Products. We first want to go to WooCommerce and Settings. As is the case with most e-commerce websites, or most things in general, starting with settings is usually a good way to set up your plugin because it's going to kind of ground you, let you know what you can accomplish with it, and go from there. So the first thing we want to do is we actually want to tweak where we're from. So we're from the United States. We'll select the United States here. And we're from Massachusetts. Oops. Where we're selling, you can sell to specific countries or to all countries. We're going to select US dollars as our form of currency, and where we're going to place the currency symbol. We'll save our changes when we're done. The next thing we want to do, especially if we're selling physical products, is go to Tax, the Tax tab, and enable taxes. We're then going to go to Shipping Options. Again, if this is a physical product you're selling and not a digital one, enable shipping will be turned on by default. You can restrict the locations you ship to as well. And what's important to note down here is we do have different shipping options. Some people will choose to bake the shipping into the cost of the product so they don't have to do anything about it. Some people will just charge a flat rate and deal with it from there. And some people will get a little bit more specific. Find out what you need to do and set it up here. You can go to the settings, for example, for flat rate, enable your setting, and set up your cost per order for shipping. Let's say it's $10, maybe it's $5, just like so. Save your changes. Probably the most important page for people, and one of the most confusing pages, is going to be the checkout process, because this is where it really gets sort of technical. You might be a little afraid if you've never sold anything online before. How are we setting this up? You've heard, the big bad SSL, making sure that your website is a HTTPS so that you can actually accept payments on your website. But the fact is that you don't necessarily need to accept payment on your website. In fact, the default method that people are going to use is PayPal, and if you're using a PayPal Express account, or a standard account or something similar, you'll actually be accepting payment off of the site anyway, so you won't need to set up the SSL. You can force secure checkout here if you're going to be taking payment online, and if you have SSL. It's always helpful. People appreciate it when they're shopping. It makes it seem a little bit more legitimate to them, potentially, if they're familiar with the web and familiar with purchasing online. But you don't have to do that. I want to note this section right here, checkout pages. We're going to come back to that section, but it's definitely a good thing to note, as we will need to set up these pages later. For the purposes of this tutorial, we are going to stick with PayPal. We could go all day about all of the different payment options that WooCommerce offers. We've used a bunch of other solutions, but PayPal is usually the one used and the simplest to set up. So we're going to check this, and we're going to go to the settings for PayPal. You can also access the PayPal settings from the top by just clicking on the PayPal link up here. We're going to enable PayPal standard, title your payment, let's stick with PayPal, and the description is usually fine as it is. And what's awesome about PayPal is once you've set up a PayPal account by going to paypal.com and setting one up, all you have to do is give them your email. Once you put your email in here, that's going to tie your PayPal account to the website. And that's literally all you have to do on this end. You're also going to want to set up the email down here in case there are any issues going forward, somebody has a billing inquiry or a question for you. You're going to want to enter your email here. And this can be the same as the email up here. Make sure you click save when you're all set. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're actually going to want to create our pages. So we're going to need to create 3 pages specifically for WooCommerce for it to function. We need a cart page so you can view your cart. We need a checkout page for when you're ready to purchase your product. And we're going to need a terms page if you're going to have terms and conditions for purchasing your product. It's not necessary, but for online transactions, we highly recommend it for legal reasons as well as just for full disclosure reasons for your customer looking to purchase your product. To do this, we just go to Pages, and we add a new page for each one. Now I already have cart and checkout, so let's take a look at those. In cart, we're just creating a cart page titled cart, or whatever you'd like to put in there. This could just as easily be, you know, view your cart, or ready to purchase, or anything of that nature. In the content, we're just going to use the short code WooCommerce _cart, and you would just publish your page. The same holds true for checkout. Here we have your checkout page. This could say checkout, thank you for shopping, a myriad of different things. We're going to leave it at checkout, and we're going to use the short code WooCommerce _checkout. We're also going to publish this page. For the terms page, this is going to be a bit different. You're still going to have terms or terms and conditions, but what goes inside of the content are going to be your actual terms and conditions. Your refund policy, money back guarantees, upgrade status, legal documentation, anything that you need is going to go right in the terms and conditions page for setup. And then you'd again publish the page. Now we're going to cycle back to the WooCommerce settings in the checkout tab. And where the checkout pages are, we're going to associate each page we created with the corresponding page. So terms and conditions we haven't selected yet. I'm going to go to select a page, find terms and conditions, save my change. The next thing we're going to want to do before we start creating our products and before we start selling our goods is we're going to want to think about what we're selling. So this comes in a few different varieties, and we have a blog post on our website at slocumthemes.com that's going to go over in a little bit more detail how to set up digital versus physical products. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to assume that you're selling a physical product. And the reason we're going to do that is because there are extra steps involved with selling a physical product that we want to cover. So we're going to go to products now. And at the very bottom, you're going to notice a section called attributes. We're going to click on attributes. So what is an attribute, and why do we need to think about this now, Dan? Why do we have to wait to create our products? I just want to create some t-shirts. I just want to create my products, and I want to sell them to my customer. Well, the reason why we want to create attributes first is because an attribute is going to determine what sort of variations you can make for your product. So if your product has more than one layout or one more element to it that you can select as a customer, you're going to need to create an attribute. So what do I mean by that variation or that element? Well, let's say I'm selling a t-shirt. Not everybody's going to fit in the same t-shirt. You might have a small t-shirt, a medium t-shirt, a large, an extra large, or an extra small t-shirt that you need to sell with the same print design. If you're selling a photograph, if you're selling a picture, you might have different types of frames that are available. You know, you could have a bamboo frame, a mahogany frame, a steel frame, and you need to offer these different options, and they might have different prices, and that's okay. But we need to think about that first because we do need to tackle this before we can get into creating products. The most common example and the easiest one to sort of articulate is going to be shirt size because it is so universal. So let's use that as an example here. Your results may vary. So we've already created it here, but all you're going to do is type shirt size into your attribute name. You're going to create a selector. It's going to be a select type, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Once you've created it, you're going to notice a little gear on the right here called Configure Terms. Go there next. While an attribute is the overall variation, so it's a shirt size, it's a color, maybe you sell t-shirts in 8 different colors, the attribute would be shirt size. The attribute would be color. But within those attributes, we have to actually set what terms are going to be available to a customer potentially. In this case, for the shirt size, we've created 3 terms. We have small, medium, and large. So this means we have the larger attribute, shirt size, and then we have our terms inside of it, small, medium, and large. I could just as easily go in here and write extra large or just XL, add new shirt size, and there it is. Thank you for watching. In the next tutorial, we're going to go over such things as adding products, whether they be digital or physical, sort of setting those different elements for your products, and setting product categories.